This is Rich again. Thanks. I finally cooled down there. Let me ask you, what's more important, a book with a bunch of theories of considerable amount of bundling up of what would be in common, or experience? I highly value exactly what towards the intended purpose is meant to serve in life. Absolutely. That's the most important thing. Nothing is more important. I don't even go to church, and yet I've been very fortunate to have a very strong walk with what I believe is the common belief of creation. And that wisdom and serving the intended purpose, every bit of it. We're supposed to be sacrificial. We're supposed to give to serve what I understand as God's children towards supposedly an intended purpose that I won't know for a while. And one day, that's it. I come from truly, yes, just outside the Chicagoland North Shore. I've been most fortunate in life, and I have been. I have been extremely fortunate. Yes, absolutely. Through experience, a very unique and gifted experience. I'm taking us close enough to the top business leaders of the nation did want to give me a hand to create success. Put me exactly in that same setting, no matter how much I've been injured, no matter how much I've been beaten down. I'll come back strong. It's going to take a little bit of work there, I'm sure, and people are naturally resistant to that. Guaranteed, I'd adapt right back up. Exactly what I've stated. You're seeing it firsthand with me. This is nothing. This is just trivial aspects of monetary 50-50s. Of course, career. It's the most important aspect. My God. That money means nothing. And all that material means nothing. Put me exactly in that same setting. With what happened out here in Birmingham, that's going to prove psychological malpractice. And how serious? I don't want to sue anyone. I have no interest in, except when pushed in absolute 100% survival, which I am anticipating most likely this next week coming up will be that. Will be absolute survival. I'm going to have one single chance to hold on to what's been true for over 35 years of my life. It's not supposed to work that way. No. And the first thing that comes to mind is medical. How do you know? It's incorporated as a norm. Policy, everything. You don't know anything about me. You have documentation now that you would fully understand the basis. You're going to have 100 videos by the time I'm said and done. I would say that this week, even though the career was the utmost importance, God forbid, and we have to put on hold on priorities here, the absolutely most important aspect, particularly in the next 2 or 3, 4 days. That's how close it's going to be. Be sacrificial, be loving, always do that, not my self-will. Never my self-will. You can see how incredibly stable I am. Tell me whether or not, all it would take is falsifying those medical records again. All it would be is to be led into the social services. I don't think that's going to happen at this point. I'm such a hot potato at this point. It'd be crazy. I'm sure it will be ran by the attorneys. By the time it's said and done, everything considered, I believe I'm doing exactly what's going to be right, no matter what the risk is. It's better than having everything wiped out a whole lifetime by predatory medical. I'm telling you, I would never believe what I'm saying here. How evil is that? I'm going to say it's going to make you wonder what the professional management of this country has done in those acts and bills, tens of thousands of them, which it happens to be civil rights and health care bills, with whatever God President Bush did with Bill Pryor. Absolutely none of that's medical in any manner. None of it is medical. Not one single bit of it. It's to get me back up to that Chicagoland North Shore and channel those resources correctly so I can continue serving thy Creator's purpose. And for me, the likelihood of a very successful career ahead of me is very high if what is right is utilized wisely. Give it to a feeding farm of a bunch of medical, it will accomplish absolutely nothing. I had $250,000, and I came down here with a population base of 5 million, 4 million, whatever it is, between Atlanta and Birmingham and Montgomery and Huntsville. And Memphis. I mean, it's a huge population base. And here I am, you know, that experience. Very, very valuable experience. The finest of finest as far as EQ given to me. Every bit of that background. I should have businesses jumping on me. I should be creating the success. We should all be creating success. No, politicized education and employees. Now, believe me, I am not someone that would, I mean, be realistic. I think if the two parties and the special interests have taken that away from me, I'm going to be, I don't know anything about me. I desperately need legal. Desperately. But I don't want to do it. I'm sacrificial in nature because sacrificing for thy Creator's intended purpose of exactly what I'm my life, not for anybody else, but the intended purpose of a very important purpose. God forbid, I don't even go to church. And out here with NAMI and a whirling, I mean, a feeding farm of what we pay for services. This is what I get in return. I'm not even going to say what I should be saying. It's likelihood. If I'm led in those social services when I'm that vulnerable, it'll be another 10 years. Feeding farm of medical, when absolutely none of it's medical. A diagnosis can take all of that away from you. There's healthcare laws. God forbid whatever is in those acts, but I don't think so. That's a special interest, and a very powerful one. I'd like to know what's been done over the decades as far as the acts and bills. I'm not a political scientist or whatever that field of specialization is. I am a business professional that if you were to incorporate me back in the norm of the Chicagoland North Shore, I'd adapt right back in again. 6 months to a year. Guaranteed. That's going to take some real wisdom. Believe me, I, by nature, head on like a handshake. For giving that back to me, I couldn't thank you enough. How much would it cost? Not very much. It'd be a whole lot more wasting it on medical. It's not a hurricane. It's not a natural disaster. It's completely a waste of time. In fact, I've done all the videos here, so you can sit down with a piece of paper and pen and start writing it. Sacrificial. Exactly what thy Creator wants me to serve in life. I am only accountable for me. We can, team up in community, share experience, but ultimately it really comes out to us. evil, or exactly how evil could it get? If I knew in Birmingham this could happen, and I didn't do anything. Well, it's me. Of course it's me. Only me, but it's the 50-50 handshake, which I don't think includes falsifying medical records. Let me guarantee you, you look at that vocational evaluation, I've kept that hard copy. You look at that vocational evaluation compared to what I've documented on these videos, it's very obvious that there was falsification of medical records. It's when I brought it to the top where there would have been a correction and the intended purpose to be served, and the medical got louder and louder to that point that I'm getting hidden areas of a completely ulterior motive. I'm going to say, is it that corrupt? I've had psychological malpractice committed against me trying to get simply a PhD in vocational psychology from the highest level of expertise in professional career counseling. Consistent with that. And I don't see Kenilworth on here. It's on there. They don't list it. It's a very small community. Man, I will tell you, you want to talk about how evil it gets? You want to know what the self-will is running wild, man? I've heard about it, and I'm not involved in any manner, just physiologically being located in an upper professional neighborhood. I am in one of the best neighborhoods in Birmingham, in the city. It is exactly what I've experienced my entire life. Keep your doors open. You know, there's no crime. People are in agreement in that respect, and the culture is different. I'm not a racist in any manner. I mean, it's probably a 50-50 in this neighborhood. This is a fantastic neighborhood overall. I've been my property manager, the owner of this place. I mean, he's covered for $1,000 right now on me. If he's covered for $1,000. He has that and that. I mean, he's covered. He's covered. I've had 200. I haven't been opening my mail, God forbid, for 4, 5, 6 months. I'm not even opening this anymore. My credit cards have been written off. Yeah, wanted to partner up. I think that's called stalking. You don't use a highly professional field, lead someone to believe that, well, there's really drugs involved. I can prove that. Absolutely prove it. I think someone's going to be in a whole heap of trouble. Is it going to be hand to incorporate back in the incorporated norm? I expect all of it to be denied. It ain't going to work. I'm skipping around a little bit here, but I reconstruct those dates. It's going to take 2 weeks. I got 150,000 files still. God only knows. It was 10,000. You got it back what happened in 2009. I clearly explained that about June. Okay? I'm going to have to put that in and search out the terms. I mean, I can probably eliminate tens of thousands of those by duplicate folders. Sacrificial. Thy Creator's intended purpose was I sent out here to Birmingham for this intended purpose. I will never know until one day. That last day, I could just tell you that I could be led into the social services and have another 8 years wasted, but I don't have $250,000 anymore. You think that was a good investment? You don't have to do one thing. I'm guessing when I submitted my resume that the predatory medical already instilled the beliefs. The teeny popper in the human resource department. I don't know if they're on medication. It's a mess. I'd like to know, though, where is the creating success for we the people that are paying for professional manage in this country, because they would be richly rewarded. I would never go on a conspiracy thirst. I'm not under any influence of any sociology to speak of, thank God. I have not had a television for a decade. At the most, I piece together sentences on MSNBC, and I look for that pattern. after, yeah, got the links too. I just put it in. It doesn't seem to change much. It's pretty much politicized. Its influence. Of course, that's what sociology is. A long time ago, I wondered what is sociology. And sure, I came across people who use psychology. I just let them be who they are. I'm not interested in the elementary aspects because there's a whole lot more than that. We are complex. It's supposed to be the study of the social sciences of our species. I guarantee you I have a whole lot more trust, thanks to BP, of the genuine playfulness and playful tricks of the genuine species. There's two flippers. Listen, I'm kind of creative in that respect. No, of course, instinctively you'll think it's medical. Man, when I look at this, I haven't seen any help. I've seen plenty. It will bring you down to your knees. I think I've explained this very well. I'm in an incorporated norm. Obviously, that experience I have. Except a select few in closely associated fields. Human resource consultant. I don't know about ethics and legal. In legal departments, the ethics, where it's utilized at the highest level, it should really be us creating success, because that's how I got it. Without any question, very unique, gifted business professional. My perception is 100% accurate. Put me back on that Chicagoland North Shore in absolute survival desperation. I will do absolutely what is necessary to incorporate back to get the truth out, where everything would be considered and the truth will always come out. It will never come out here in Birmingham. Man, when I say medical, I'm telling you, I'm not even involved in any of this fool. I've never had an issue as far as a norm, as far as challenges in that respect. I wake up, I get to work, like what everybody else does. I've never been a person that, as far as the norm, as far as any norm, having a challenge to have it become most interesting. And those medical records, I'm going to tell you this much. Let me show you this. It's kind of dark over here. Good to, at least let me know the water will be shut off on the 23rd. The electric and phone could go. Are you kidding me? That's the help? Oh my God. Honestly, I must have been absolutely out of my mind to stay down here in Alabama. When you look at this documented, legally binding, that Jim Harris III and that attorney of his, Stephen K. Simpson, with Graham Sisson, along with Bill Pryor, concocted something, this makes me appear that I have had a stroke. I explained it last night. And I mean, I have dealt with this every single day since 4/7/2004 as an incorporated norm of Birmingham. And I didn't even know it. For a while there, I saw a little individual counseling, psychiatrist, no mental. You see how A equals B when it's not A at all? It's supposed to be A, but it's B. It's thy Creator's intended purpose of what I'm meant to serve in life. If it's meant that I am going to lose everything, thanks to all the help, I'm willing to be sacrificial in that nature. Absolutely. I don't know why this is happening to me. I do know it's not medical. It is, but it's not with. I'm an interesting one. I know that. You've got all these videos. All you gotta do is get down with a piece of paper and I can reconstruct everything to get 100%. Why am I focusing on? That's not me. It is most unhealthy. In fact, I'm taking a guess. It's about as serious as it gets. This is serious. how serious? I'm not an attorney. I would not want to harm anyone. But at a certain point in survival, it's obvious what's going to happen here. And I am going to be the mercy of social services to throw away the rest of my life on a theory? When you don't know anything about me. You're going by a book. You don't know anything about me. Those medical records, undoubtedly, if you knew the background that I came from, and take this evaluation of all these masters and PhDs, this makes me appear that I am basically going to get somewhere where I'm fading in and out of reality, very much a basket case. And I will need my psychiatric rehabilitation to get a job at, as far as stocking shelves at a health store. And yet, the 35 years that I come from happens to show in a reality, though, there. And it's only about a quarter to 0.5%. Everything is here. The almighty, one single invalidated theory at the highest level. Now I understand what medical malpractice is. Now I understand what's even harder to prove. Psychological malpractice. I believe at this point it's very evident that I have somebody I just reset a statute of limitation with. That immunity is out the window on something like this. If I could ever believe that was false, that's the end result of falsified medical records. That makes me look like an invalid that desperately needs a psychiatrist to be able to stock shelves at a health food store. And what do you think, Lake Fork? Thy Creator's intended purpose. If I'm meant to serve, I certainly will. The truth will always come out. What's the likelihood? Oh, I'll guarantee you, you know how you really build up that psychological malpractice case? To be one of the most high-profile examples that this area of Birmingham or Alabama or the southern states has seen in decades. Get me incorporated back in that Chicagoland North Shore, up on the old money, consistent exactly with that experience. I absolutely am being 100% honest. That it's going to take a little work. The investment, I'd be right back in that norm. I'd adapt so quickly. Absolutely, I promise you. I promise you. This is absolutely not medical in any. I've always been most interesting. But I'm the one who knows myself the best. I can only relate and share to you. Now, of course, you're going to seek the wise wisdom. I am a most highly developed and most interesting. Clearly, in Lake Forest, everything I stated with psychiatrists and psychologists from a wide diversification, old money, the most gifted in the nation, that highly value that. They got to know me really well. And they told me it's a higher level of growth and maturity than most people achieve in their lifetime. As honest as I can be, they don't know the basis where it came from. I mentioned that, a couple of days. It slipped out after 47 years in a dream. And there it was. If we tell you the belief, you know where to learn it. So go out there, experience it, come back to us, and share what you learned. And of course they corrected me. There were beliefs impressed on me by my parents. I come from a perfectly normal childhood until I come out to Birmingham. And you know how fast that... I think this is of the most serious nature. It's the background. It's the experiences of... This is nothing. I would never want to know anything about this. It's an unresolved issue of someone that comes from a background of a normal, healthy lifestyle of earning a living and pursuing a career, not a workaholic, but putting in 8, 10, 12-hour days if necessary to create that success and work hard to create success. And put me back on that Chicagoland North Shore with some very gifted and unique experience where I am absolutely being 100% honest. Everything's medical, but none of it is. What a waste of my valuable time and $250,000 on top of it. None of this should, we're looking at the quality assurance. As far as the business practices, I would never believe it's that corrupt. And I have to say, absolutely. Take Shelby County, Alabama, and Mountain Brook. It's a dump as a political environment. Never would be tolerated in Lake County. Please, please, I'm going to be at the mercy of ending up homeless thanks to all the help. When something like this, absolutely, there should have never been falsified medical records. If I would have hopped back up to Lake County, but that phone call I made, whether it was in April or June of 2012, I can get the exact date. And they sure heard Lake Forest and up and down. It is not, it is education related. The highest level of wisdom, God forbid. Get me that PhD in vocational psychology. That's why this happened. It should have happened regardless to recover from the injury in 2009. It should have been in the context of chiropractor and naturopathy. And something tells me someone's going to be in a whole heap of trouble. I expect, as I mentioned, nothing but denial. Wait until I start reconstructing those dates. And exactly what I said quite a few videos back. It's all over the place. I'm clarifying. And I'm still referring to many, bundling up, thousands of experiences out in a couple of words, sentences, a paragraph. That's what I've been doing all along. Thank God. Thy Creator's intended purpose. Is this what we're meant for me to serve? Sacrificial to the extent of absolutely survival? And that the right will occur and not another 8 years or my entire lifetime will be. That's how powerful the medical special interests are. Give that a thought. I would never believe this could happen to me. I'm not involved in it. A PhD in vocational psychology, professional career counseling. Absolutely. Falsified medical records. Absolutely. You sit down with me and start getting down with that piece of paper and reconstructing everything in these videos, I will guarantee you I will get it up to 100%. It's going to take a long time to reconstruct it 100%. But I'm able to start pulling, if it's necessary, any denial or pulling strings or anything, I'm able to get everything back. How many dates, how many times psychological malpractice was occurred by Jim Harris III? It is a most unique and interesting. It is not complex. It's at someone who builds on experience. At building on curiosity and learning how things work and coming back to you and sharing it with you. It's a pattern that you heard it head on. Thank you for investing the time of really getting to know me well. Maybe one day I'll meet you. We have that in common. Please, please, thank you. I've got just a couple of days here, unless I skin my teeth. There's going to be some people in a whole heap of trouble. I can tell you that. Thank you for taking the time and learning about me. I am Rich